Today we're going to be talking about the Bahamas Esports Federation and what that means for the Bahamas. Now, the Bahamas Esports Federation, or BSF, has been something that we've been working on for almost a decade now. It's been something from 2011, and we finally actually gotten it to work out and, be to the point where we are recognized by international bodies along with national bodies. What is the BEF? What is this federation all about? Simply put, Bahamas Esports Federation is a non-governmental, not-for-profit, non-discriminatory, and religious neutral zone. This is, in a nutshell, a place for you to come and be yourself. That's what we welcome. That's what we want from our person. Now, moving past just that. Sorry, speaking early and so my throat's a little tingly. We are dedicated to the growth and development of not just but also to the gaming culture and community within the Bahamas and the region. Now, this comes at a lot of time and effort. I think I would have said that. And so we've built up what we believe our mission is. And that is, simply put, to advance, regulate esports, along with enhancing the culture and community here. Now, we need to establish and maintain, which is we're in the process of now established, maintaining it, professional federation esports video gaming. This will allow us to have a unified, supported, educated, represented, regulated, promoted, and pretty much have one voice for esports and video games here in the Bahamas and internationally. I know most of us know that we've had very segmented communities. I mean, if you take a look today, we have quite literally 3 different fighting game community WhatsApp group. Hey, Keo. Hey, Joseph M. Oil. Again, thanks, Sensei. But, hey, Blurry. Guys, this is no nuance. You can have a voice, one singular voice. It is something that is just how the international committees work. That's how the Olympics work. One voice. That is seen as the international body sports. It's one voice. We take everyone's opinions, thoughts, concerns, and issues into consideration, and then we represent them as best as we can. That's how it works. Now, as we move forward, our vision is simple. It's that the Bahamas becomes a major player in the worldwide spectrum, and that esports becomes a new avenue for entrepreneurship, job creation, tourism, youth empowerment, and development within the Bahamas. You're saying that you're not in agreement because each organization must speak for themselves and so forth, not the American. See, that's fine. You can speak for yourself. We're not trying to stifle one's voice. That's not how it works. What we are trying to do. No, this is a federation, so this is an organization. So we have a voice for the community. Whether you as an organization, like a TO organization, whatever it is, you have your own voice. Now, if you're a member of the BESF, you can make that voice heard for whatever it is that we're working with. So, to put it simply, the American Federation, the Jamaican Federation, the Indian Federation, the Japanese, Korean, Chinese, whatever it is, they are the persons that are the regulating bodies for esports within their countries. But they do not stifle and say that, oh, this esports group can't talk about whatever it is that they want to talk about. No, that's simply not how it works. You can have your voice, you can have your opinion. No one is trying to stifle that. What we are trying to do is become a unified front for esports so that we can better the Bahamas. And this is exactly what's happening across the world with other federations for esports. This is not something that we're making up off the books. But this allows us to have an actual fighting body. Something that we can say, hey, this represents all of us. And that's as simple as it is. Now, we had, like I mentioned, a lot of time, energy, commitment, and passion invested in the Federation. And that is derived from a collective vision of what esports in the Bahamas will become and should look like. The results fostered through esports in the Bahamas that the BESF aims to achieve and expects includes, but not limited to, improved economy in the Bahamas, happier youth, improved academic education, and reduction of crime and undesirable behavior. That may not necessarily make a whole. And so today is not going to be the only time we have a conversation about the Federation. We're going to have several conversations, as we do these meetings, like as we have our meetings and stuff, that we'll be streaming them as well. We can be aware of what's going on, what we're doing, so forth. Now, thank you for following as well. Today, we went on our very first radio show. And we had originally planned to do the radio show and release a press statement. Now, that press statement has not gone out yet. And we are about to send that out short. Probably like right after this. So, like I was saying, this is not the only show. We will have more. And we will be sending out a press release shortly. So that's going to be in the different groups, Discord and whatnot. To read that off, simply put, states that the Bahamas Esports Federation is established and our first national qualifiers are coming. The BESF no, I'm not reading right now, but technically the BESF has had its first national tournament. That was the League of Legends tournament that happened a few months ago. That was national in the fact that we had players from outside of the Bahamas who are Bahamian. We had players in Grand Bahama, Abaco, I believe Andros, New Providence, and elsewhere. So yes, in that sense, it was a national tournament. Those persons that won received some in-game currency, especially since it was a completely free tournament. Now, since then, we've been told we need to have entry fees, so on and so forth, and we've received a lot of suggestions, comments, and concerns in regards to that tournament, which we'll be looking forward to doing next time. But I want to talk about the Federation before I get into the tournament. Today marks the beginning of something special. Please remember, I'm looking. Today marks the beginning of something special for the Bahamas. A momentous occasion that many people have been looking forward to. And have been asking and hoping for. Today, we are pleased to announce the formation of the Bahamas Esports Federation. Esports, in a nutshell, is a competition between two or more players, generally in the form of video games. On a broader scale, however, it is one of the fastest growing forms of entertainment, even eclipsing traditional sports and similar forms of entertainment and engagement. Keep in mind now, me deviating, this is not overall. Some sports it is the BESF's mission to advance and regulate esports, enhance the culture, and develop the sports community throughout the Bahamas. Our second role is to establish and maintain a professional federation through which its members may be unified, supported, educated, represented, regulated, promoted, and entertained. I hope that answers the question I was asked about how different places, like different organizations that do esports, have their own voice. We are singular, you can have your voice, but we will speak for everyone. Simply put, we are here to help nurture video game culture and esports, create new opportunities to connect with like-minded individuals, to guide those interested in making a career from the video game industry of all the Bahamas. In order to ensure that we are held to the highest international standards, I unfortunately was not able to really dig into this today. We are proud to say that we are members of the Esports Integrity Coalition, the Central America and Caribbean Esports Confederation, the Pan American Esports Confederation, and the World Esports Confederation, all international esports bodies. We are also in good standing with both the Bahamas' Ministry of Sports, or the ministry that deals with sport, and we are an associate member of the Bahamas Olympic Committee. We are also pending membership for the International Esports. We encourage gamers, casual, those interested in going professional, and those who already see themselves as pros to join with us. The first step is to find us at our website, besf242.org, and or head to our Discord group, besf242.org/Discord, DISORD. Our immediate aim is to seek out competitive players and those with a passion for esports. In the near future, we will hold national qualifiers to create a national esports team to represent the country in national, international, and online tournaments, championships. We also encourage those who are interested in being trained to become a coach to contact us as well. Michael Lamargon, President of the Bahamas Federation. So, I see that there's some comments inside the stream. The question, will you have to like some type of gaming talent to be a part of this? No. Kiamari is correct. Quite literally, we have situations where we have persons that not necessarily are good at games, but they might have qualities or interests that might benefit the Federation. So for example, part of the job creation system that we're planning on developing, we need people to do graphics. We need people for broadcasting, commentators, shoutcasters, people to actually like be with the cameras, people to make sure the stream's working properly, and like editing videos, helping set up events. There's a lot that goes into these things that only a few of us have really seen or done. And quite honestly, a lot of us need help. What is the criteria for applying to represent for the Bahamas? Sorry, applying to represent the Bahamas for esports. Simply put, be good. Train yourself, or essentially what the tournament's all about is to find out the players that are willing and able to take it to the next level and to go pro. Now, that's going to take a lot of time because not everyone's there yet, and we're going to need different teams. We're going to need a team B, team A to compete against one another. We're going to need a lot of people, a lot of players, and not everyone may be able to go international, different regions. So just because you make team A, for example, doesn't mean that you're not going to practice with and against them, or that we could say someone on team A does not have their passport or is unable to travel to a country. Could be for work, could be for whatever reason. Someone from team B would then take their place. When are we going to branch out from just League of Legends? Well, that's part of what we plan on doing. So, like what Michael was originally saying, is that, and I don't see it as an issue, is that there are persons that are already working on different games. Now, my group is separate and apart from the BESF, but now falling under the BESF cookies. That group handles different games. And there are other organizations that do it as well. Some of them are currently, well, some of them have expressed interest in joining the Federation, and some have not. Now, for those that have expressed interest with the Federation, we are finding out where best they fit, whether it be as a regular member or if it be as a form of a committee or a member of a committee. Now, those organizations can help towards different games. Like I said, we'll need help. If the Federation sees that there's a game that is not currently represented, but that the player base, the community, has a serious interest in, we can take it upon ourselves to form something, some kind of way, to then have events for that. Especially if there's a tournament that's coming up, we can then represent the Bahamas. Magic the Gathering, Paladins. See, these are interesting games of choice because, how do I put it? Magic is very popular worldwide, but not necessarily popular. Paladins has kind of gone down over time as well in terms of popularity. But how do we find out that people are interested in this? That's where we're working with the Bahamas Gamers and Otaku Discord. We've built that in a way to help us gain insight into what our community wants, plays, and is interested in. So that's why one of the first things we have when you enter is you read to the rules of the Discord. From there, go into picking if you're an otaku, which is someone who is interested in anime, movies, books, TV shows. You know, you just have a serious interest in something. Or if you're a gamer. And if you said that you're a gamer, then you get a new channel that lists a bunch of games that we've been either requested or that we see are popular. And then we can see once you click on it, it takes a count. Those counts help us in being able to say, well, we have 100 people that are interested in this particular game. So this is definitely something that we should take a look at having an event for. You can then take that information and use that elsewhere. Say, hey, well, we need sponsorship for this event. We have this amount of possible players. Can you work with us? I see a question in the chat says, will members of the external orgs be members of the BESF? The idea behind it is, once we open up membership, then we're still figuring out how it's going to work properly for the member. But for the most part, those persons in those groups will have the ability to say that they're a member. At the very least, since they're a member of a club or an organization or what, then they can say that they're a part of the group or this organization, which is a part of the B. And that gives them actual credence, credibility, not just nationally, but also internationally. And that's kind of what we're aiming for, because we're currently in a state where we are trying, when I say we, I don't mean just the BEF, I mean all of the federations worldwide, are in a process of working to make sure that esports is considered a sport properly. And that we can have our own medal events, our own events. We're seen as not just this thing where people just sit down, play games, and waste time. And that's the key thing. Because a lot of us spend a lot of time on that. We do physical training, mental training. Some of us get hurt in the process of becoming the best that we can. Some of us need help in different aspects. So, in line with one of the things that was said on the radio, yes, we do plan on working with local groups. When I say groups, I mean companies, I should say, that do things like offer a gym membership, or work with therapists in case you are having some issues that you need to work out and resolve, and just need someone to actually sit down, talk to, maybe get medicated. But at least then you'd have somewhere safe that is recognized by the community, that you can go there and nothing's wrong is going to happen. Or if you want to go and exercise, then maybe get some kind of membership fee where the price is knocked down so you don't have to pay as much. All this kind of stuff helps, because when we come together as a community, that gives us, like I said, one voice, one strength. And with that, we can do a lot. To continue with the question, it then says, or would they have to express interest individually? So what we have so far is, if you are a member of you do not have to express interest individually. If you are not a member of a club, then you can express yourself. If you join up with a club, then you would then fall under that club. I hope that clears that up. If you have questions, of course, ask them. They also say, and also if we do have sponsors that will cover gear and, let's say, travel fee. So that's the thing, Snoop. We were in the process of actually trying to set up something for a national team to go and represent the Bahamas and Mexico at the CESCO Championship. CESCO being the Central American and Caribbean Esports Confederation. Now, what we were aiming for with that was getting sponsors for our players to then go. So they wouldn't have to spend anything for flights, room, board, well, essentially your hotel, your food, and your ground travel would have all been covered. So it's stuff like that is what we're working on. And the follow-up question is, and also does the BESF have any partnership with the Out? In some form or fashion, they have an association with the Geek Out through me, but it's not anything official. We have had a sit down and a conversation. So it is quite possible that I think it's safe to say that the conversation went well, and I think it should be safe to say that working together in the future. Icy McSpicy. You asked for the criteria to represent the Bahamas for. I think I answered that, which was just show us that you have the talent, and if we see that we can work with you, we're going to do our best to work. And granted, even if you don't make the national team, that doesn't mean we're not going to be working with you. We'll still be having things like workshops, different events and whatnot, where you can come out, show your skill, maybe get some training, and just get better. And if we see you at one of these things and we take notice of your skill, that may also end you up on the national team as well. It doesn't have to be just from a tournament. That's what I'm trying to say. Going through to make sure that every question has been covered. Okay, someone said, this all sounds good on paper. You mentioned transparency on the radio. How transparent will you guys be with? The whole thing is to be as transparent as possible. There will be some decisions that will be left up to the executive board, the advisory board. Well, I shouldn't say the advisory board. The executive board and the committee members. So those persons will be making decisions for the community. The community can always express its concerns, its thoughts, feelings, its wants. It is our job to then take that on and make sure that we represent our community as best as possible. I hope that answers that question. So is there any IRL meetings or practices? Or, sorry, will there be? Yes, there will be IRL meetings. There will be IRL practice. We still need to work this out, but we'll be working forward to have a place where we can go, sit down, play games, have fun, be a community, engage in sportsmanship behavior, teamwork, camaraderie, and most of all, get better at gaming, at video games, at esports, whatever you want to call it. I know there was some confusion as to what exactly was being said earlier today on that radio. Not by myself, but that did need a little bit of clarification. The Bahamas Esports Federation has nothing to do with gambling. No one in this country has gaming. We are not gamblers. Some of you may gamble. That's on you. That's your individual person. The BESF is currently in the process of making its stance on that. But that's a conversation for a further time. Next question is, since BESF is a governing body, what type of assistance does it offer orgs currently developing the industry on the local grassroots level? That is a great question. So we are in the process of putting together our membership packages, which also talks about the different benefits and perks and privileges. Now, again, sorry. Some of these things include, being able to partake in esports activities and events organized or sponsored by including public and private competitive tournaments, awards programs, and social. Other gatherings may include, but not all, workshops, skill training sessions, federation outings, tournaments, social events, family island travel, international travel, and are held as necessary. We will also be doing marketing for their club and their events. We'll assist in developing their constitution, and we can provide a template if requested. Don't have one already. We will also be providing international benefits that only come from being a part of the federation. For example, the United States currently has recently, I didn't say too recently, within the past few years, done something for esports. And that is they've allowed esports athletes to come under a visa, an athlete visa. The US CIS has defined international recognition as having a high level. Sorry, they've officially allowed, they recognize it as an athlete, as a sport. So with that, they say that if you have a high level of achievement in a field, evidenced by a degree of skill and recognition above that ordinarily encountered, to the extent that such achievement is renowned, known in more than one country, then you can fall under this. This is called a P1 visa, and it is also granted to a member of an internationally recognized foreign team. Each member of the team is given a P1 visa based on the international reputation. P1 visa holder was granted P1 visa based on team membership, can't perform services separate and apart from his athletic. They can also perform for payment or prize money. P1 visa holders can also engage in part-time study. P1 visa holders can work with multiple employers. However, each employer must file a separate. They can also come to the United States to participate in activities such as athletic competition, athletic season, tournament, or exhibit, project, entertainment event, or engagement. Such activities can include short vacations, promotional appearances relating to the competition, event, or performance, and stopovers that are incidental and or related to the activity. There is more to that. Quite more, but I don't want to run on with it. The point that I'm getting at with that is at this present time, right here, right now, if you're looking for monetary assistance, we cannot assist with that just. But we can assist with getting the word out about you, what you're doing, club, and getting more people to become aware. That may also mean if you have, let's say, a tournament, then, more people may come out to you, because we, as a governing body, would be able to say, okay, well, we're looking forward to seeing people at this, or, however it is. We have some stuff in the works for advertisement as well, so we can maybe use that space, things like that. But it would also help for clubs, say BTVI, SG. If we say that there's a particular school that has an esports program or a club, then And that club is underneath the federation, which at this time, BESG is what I'm using as an example. BESG is affiliated with us. We did allow them to say that they're affiliated with their constitution or their news. Now, something like that may have an increase in your membership because people are now aware that your school has something like that. They may now want to go to your school, something like that, or not join the club because they might not have known about it before. How they do. Okay, so next question. So what games will the team or teams be playing? This depends solely on the community. And or if we are told by an international event is coming up, we're going to be having these games. Now, we may not have had games for that, but if we see that something's coming up, we will then ask the community if they're willing to have a tournament or willing to try out this game or whatever it is. Or if there are people playing, then we'll have a tournament for them and see what the skill level is. Kyo says Bodhi got. Okay. Is this the username is blue? Okay, Bushido Brown says, what makes you guys the governing body of? We are the governing body of esports because we are accepted as members of the national bodies, AMESCO, WESCO, CASESCO, the Esports Integrity Coalition, and we are currently talking to International Federation. Not only that, we are currently in the works with the ministry deals with sports for here in the Bahamas, along with being an associate member at this present time with the Bahamas Olympic Committee. That gives us the right to say that. Like I said, we've done a lot of work for making this. Let's see. Still reading through this. Snoopy says, I feel this is a good idea, but I feel the community or the adults who do not understand gaming may not feel it's necessary to support this. But feel that kids like me, who are in school like me, may feel we should focus on school. How do you feel about that? I completely agree with focusing on school. You need an education. Not everyone will be able to become a pro. Not everyone will do well as a pro. I am speaking this very bluntly. You have professionals who go to these tournaments overseas. You have athletes, traditional athletes, let's say track and field, spend their entire year running track, go to the Olympics, and never get a medal. That happens. Just because you play doesn't mean that you'll get prize money, doesn't mean that you'll get a medal. But if you keep at it, there's the possibility that you might. And even if you don't make it, you can then maybe help someone else can. That's how coaches are made for current traditional. Persons who are coaches typically are persons who were athletes and either stopped due to injury, age, or some other deciding factor. And they see that they can make a difference in the sport that they're interested in. Like I mentioned, esports is not just playing. Sometimes you need to go and get a degree for something like marketing, graphic design, or broadcast, something with IT, because we're going to need people with IT, we're going to need people with graphics, we're going to need people who can actually talk, who can do journalism. We're going to need a lot of different fields falls under esports. The same fields, if not more, that fall to sport. If you remember, and if you think, really and truly, sports is taking a lot of aspects from esports now. That's why a lot of sport organizations, leagues, and so on and so forth are making their own esports teams, because they were going mainly just on TV and whatnot. We are the ones that revolutionized watching things and tournaments and events online. We are the deciding factor. We have a lot of room to grow. Everybody says you have to prove the negative ideas in the back of their heads wrong. At the end of the day, a parent must have a safe future for their kid. We show them we can slap money in our pockets with gaming. It'll start to sway. I completely agree with that. If you remember what happened with the gentleman that was mentioned on the show today, the guy who won $3 million on Fortnite, 15-year-old. His mother did not believe in him at all. His mother was against him gaming. But he pushed. And, you know, he said, "Mom, I can do this, I can do this, I can." And she let him, gave him a bit of leeway to go ahead and play and practice. And he won $3 million. And afterwards, in that interview, that mother said she had changed her mind completely. She sees the relevance of it. She sees where her son can make a career and a living from it. What I really enjoyed the most about his story, though, is that he's being smart with his. He's not blowing it. He's 15 years old. Imagine you as a 15-year-old get $3 million. I know most of us would have probably blown a good chunk of that. What he's doing, buying a table for his rig and investing the rest. I think a table and a chair, investing the rest. Because he's going to be going, cool. He knows he's going to be going to college. He knows he's going to need support funds later on. He's preparing himself for adulthood, that same money. We have to be responsible with ourselves. That's why I said education is important. Getting a good degree is important. Now, yes, you can be a college dropout and still do well with this. But for some things, you will need persons that have either the talent, the degree, the knowledge, education, whatever it is, to move this forward. Continuing on, we say, however, I believe if passion runs strong within your heart, you can make it possible one day as long as you're pushing. 3. I honestly want to help this idea get across and is good in our country. Honestly, great. Bring me BBEF. I am putting Shiro. You know what? Cut my hip in Blaze Blue Central Fiction the other night. But I see your talent. I see your talent. If the community wants Blaze Blue, we can do something for. Nubi says, I'm all in for this. I'm ready to practice now. That is great. Like I said, we're going to be working on actually setting this up and having practice areas now. It may be sketchy. Well, I shouldn't say sketchy. It may not be the way that we want it to be at first. But we have plans and ideas to make this good. If you want to find out more about that or any of our information, I'm not ending this. If you want to find out more information about this, please join the Discord. That is where we're going to be posting all of our news. Bushido Brown says, how do you plan on getting into the schools? We can't give all the details on that, but that's something we're going to be working with a number of different bodies, different methods. We're going to do our best. If you have ideas, or if you know someone that can speak to us, by all means, let us know. You can reach me at, you can reach us at 425-2288 on WhatsApp. Or you can also contact us via email at contact@besf242.org, or on Twitter at twitter.com/besf2, Facebook at facebook.com/be. Let's see. He has 3 million followers. He's got major following behind him now because of the. Okay, we're talking about the $3 million gaming house are gone. Says that he can continue to grow his $3 million into his fan base he got. Yep. So just asking, if we do become serious in this or pros, will the money from sponsors go towards tutors if we miss school when we go on trips? That is definitely something we could take a look at, because like I said, schooling is important. Now it's not going to be a situation where you skip school for a month and want to go on a binge for and then you want us to pay for a tutor for that. Probably not going to work out that way. It'll be a case-by-case basis, more than likely. I can't speak in definitive terms for that. But if we have the funds and did take you away to represent the Bahamas, definitely something to take a look at. Theo says, actually, most professional gamers, more so than not, either stop playing competitively to pursue academics. True. I don't normally do. This is also why college at levels, like there are colleges, I'm going to be looking at have sponsorships for esports now. And yes, there are some that can work both. There are some that can't. And there are some colleges that have programs that are built around the things that esports need. Like I was talking, marketing, broadcasting, so on and so forth. And you can go to training for stuff like that. Now Key was also saying, unless of course they do League of Legends colleges and make college a sport. Now that's something pretty much like what Doogie Bell says, hello Michael. Hello there, Doogie Bot. Sorry, Doogie. He says, the way you stay with your studies and still play. He says, I'm in the Discord. That's how I got here. Awesome stuff. He says that you can get scholarships playing League of Legends in certain colleges. That is true. Bushido is saying, what's your stance on video games causing violence? Because our caller today was talking some bullsh. Now, that was something I wanted to address. And the next time I'm on Bodhi, I do plan on addressing. I would have had a conversation. Well, I would have had a short conversation with Bodhi after the show today, where he would have sent me a message saying that I was a great guest. Thanks. I have an open invitation to reappear anytime on the show. And this is one of the reasons why I considered us having this. While it had its controversy, it was still a success in my. He invited us to reappear back anytime, and on the show he said that pretty much anytime I call in and want to be a guest, book me down. And he's doing that because I'm the president of Bahamas Esports, and we do plan on going back to him with one of our VP, Tyler Gordon, who it wasn't just we have other members of the executive council, but he was the one that was most available and able to come on with for the next time. We have other radio stations that will be going on. Now, Tyler is currently away, so that's not possible for this week. But we're going to be aiming for some ones for next week and week after. So you'll probably see more news, well, more things about us being on the radio show. You'll probably hear more people talking about it, so on and so forth. But we did have a caller in today that started off talking about violence and how someone at an event got up the was it was a very sobering time for the I shouldn't necessarily say sobering. It was a very sad. It was a sad time because he needed help. Persons like that typically are either going through something or very mentally unstable. And that's part of why we plan on aiming to work with it. So if you are going through something, you have someone to reach, and it won't cost you an it's okay, Aaron. Like I understand that you realize that this is a kind of serious. Now, we don't want anything like that happening here. For the most part, we don't have things like that happen. I think we've only had, that I'm aware of, one mass shooting in the past like 5 to 10 years. And I mean, like, that kind of stuff can happen, like I said on the show, it can happen in any community. It doesn't have to be gaming. You can be playing dominoes on the docks. You could be sitting outside someone's home and the same kind of thing happens, unfortunately. But the simple fact of the matter, we want to be there as much as possible. And the simple fact of the matter, that the excuse, and I'm using that term very forcefully, is because people have been trying to say that video games are a cause for violence for a long time. That's been a way for, I'm not talking locally, but I'm talking internationally, politicians trying to use that as a scapegoat for other issues that they have that they do not want. Apologies. Research has been done a number of times that proves that video games do cause violence. There is no link between video games and real life violence. There may have been studies that stated this. They were then cross-examined and referenced and found to be false. Other research has been done, cross-referenced and examined, and proves that there is no link causing. Now, I won't necessarily blame bad parents or parenting, because sometimes persons do just snap. That is based on chemicals in their brain and their body. That is based on how their environment, how they were raised. That is based on a lot of different factors. I will not sit here and blame any one in particular. What research has shown is that video game actually benefits in a number of ways. From increased hand and eye coordination, to improved academic skills, because we're now researching better players, which means we learn how to actually do frame data, which means that we have to understand mathematics to understand how these things work. And this helps us working as a community, as a team, doing sportsmanlike activities with a sportsmanlike mindset also helps, because then that sets in our mind that we cannot be acting any kind of way. We have to have respect for our fellow players. We can't just lose a game and punch the person on. That's not how the gaming community. That's not how we want to be either. Yes, you have toxic players that will break up their keyboard, overthrow their desk, or damage their items. But those persons, from what I've seen, will never take out their anger on a person unless something more. And even with those persons, they can be reformed. Look at one of the most popular ones, Tyler 1. He was one of the most toxic players in the world. Still toxic to a certain degree, but nowhere where he was. Let's see. Any Brawl players? I'm pretty sure we'll get the Brawl community side. This is hoping. I feel like gaming doesn't have anything to do. Okay, that's the bad parents thing. Used to be fights when someone knocked my marble out the ring. I guess marble causes kids to be well. Little spherical disasters. Well, to that topic. Yeah. Quite literally anything like that can happen. Going back to that, if you use video games in that aspect, like that caller did earlier, then you probably shouldn't go to church. Probably shouldn't be at an open public space. Probably shouldn't do a lot of things. Probably shouldn't play sports. Because, look at hockey. Look at soccer. Look at basketball. Fights happen on those things. Tempers get high. But it's very, very rare that you see any kind of outburst like that with fighting, with esports. And even then, it doesn't really come to physical blows. Here's an example. I believe it was Evo or CEO. I think it was CEO. Where this year a player got upset that he lost. Actually, either way, one of the players, I don't remember if they lost or they won, but it was a very heated thing because there was some rivalry. Inconsistent. And someone won. The other person and someone got very emotional, very physical, but it did not affect the other person. I think what the person also did was that they jumped up and their chair flung back or something like that and hit a bystander by accident. It wasn't even intentional. So, yeah. Don't see that with esports. We are probably one of the safer forms of sport in that regard. Talking is a very violent game. Yes, Keo, it is. The whole thing is you are throwing a ball to hit someone, and it don't always end up in their back. Sometimes you get hit in your nuts. Sometimes you get hit in your face. Sometimes you get hit in your fingers, and one of them may break. Which actually happened to someone I know back when I was. Someone said, well, Snoopy says, I used to be fight when someone make me eat 4 in Uno. Uno was related to relationships. I lost 2 friends because of that. Okay. Which groups are in the BESF? currently, right now, we have a few groups that are in it. We do have groups that are currently pending. And so we are, once we open it up, we are aware that these. So we have more cookies. We have Esports, MOAR Tech, Hearthstone, Black Nebula, differently abled. We'll also be getting a few others. For Esports, Bahamas Esports League, Basal. We're expecting the SG Bahamas Esports Guilds to become a part of it. We do also have Bahamas National, not associated with this just yet, and that is run by a different entity. Look on that name. And Celestrum Gaming. Those are the persons who have interest or a member of it. Trabe says people who blame each other in video games don't take it that personally. I agree. Like you do, you might despise them in game, but y'all in real life. Most that happens for the most part is, oh, fight me again. Let's see who could take this cut hip and see who's coming out on top. You essentially are asking for a rematch. Yes, because you realize it is just a game. You realize that it's nothing personal. Theo says Blurry is flame all the time, but he ain't got nothing to say about you IRL. Someone says don't let Keo bait y'all. Blurry says Nux and Slap or Slaps now. Keo's advertising himself. Well, not himself, but his love. He says, and oh, yeah. What do you mean I don't know SVG? SVG hasn't made their. That's what you. If they do. I know they're up inside the Discord, but the Discord is home of the BES. Is not the BES. We'll be making some channels available shortly, but we wanted a place. We made the Bahamas Gamers and Otaku Discord because we knew the community needed a place to come together, and we knew that we were working towards this. But yes, this whole thing was inception from before we made Discord, which is actually made from last year. We had about 70 something people, and it died off a bit. And this year, people were like, need somewhere where, you know, people who have like-minded interests and are interested in gaming and anime and stuff come together. And it was funny to me because in my back of my head, I was like, something like this ready. And so we restarted. I spent because I was actually building up a Discord just for the Federation, and I took all that, because I was actually working on that for a month and finding all the different processes that I would need, different anyway, just building it up is what I took from the Federation, and that's what we have. So it is built to assist the Federation with finding out what our community wants and is interested. That's just one example of how we're working. I hope you guys can understand. That's part of the reason why for some people they find it a little more complex, even though it's quite literally, again, join, agree. So we're clicking the little check mark button. That's it. Saying what you're interested in gamer or otaku professional into content creation. So if you do arts or if you're a streamer, yes, we want to know who our streamers are. We're going to be trying to create a team on Twitch, on wherever it is, so that we can showcase our talent. And even if we can't create a team on these places, we'll create a directory somewhere. We always find it. One of the reasons why we also made it so that we have a section in the Discord that posts anytime someone who lets us know that they have a stream. It notifies the stream squad, which is another role that you can take, so that you can be aware when someone is going live, so you can watch them. Show some love for your Bahamian streamers and our content creators, because we also have one for YouTube. So if you post up stuff on YouTube, definitely get your stuff showcased there. You're all about the community. Simple as that. We're not in it for the money. Almost every federation I've talked to is not in it for the. We actually typically lose money doing stuff like this until we get to the point where we. Same thing can be said for tournament organizing, for those persons running events. Not easy, but it's worth it because you guys make it. Rising in. Yeah. But I swear. Let me just see if anyone's asking any questions. Discord. Other stuff. Wrap. Add the. Okay, so there don't seem to be any questions else. Okay, Snoopy is asking, just asking, will there be free food at practice? Keo, why are you asking when you? I have a feeling that you won't. Other reason. I know your fat man response kicking in. Say pulling scene. But how can I put this? If we are having an event, we can definitely try to have somewhere that's the most. If we're having a national team workshop or something like that, where we're putting in hours, then that might be something we could take a look at. There'll definitely be breaks, walking around, getting water, bathroom, stretching your legs, doing a little bit of exercise, that kind of stuff. But you need to eat, and going out for food is not going to be the best, and the food that can get delivered to you sometimes costs $1 and a leg, and not the same kind of leg that Booty was talking about earlier. But that is something we can maybe some of the funds that we may get for those kind of events. Tournaments and stuff like that, I don't think. Probably have to buy. You need to live through people that can actually. You need pizza to play. Wow. We will have food at the tournaments that you can. That should be able to work that out, or at least food nearby that you can. Now, what I'm talking about is free food. What is up with y'all and the? This is not healthy. And Kunishiro's talking about roast beef, chicken, some. You know what, guys? We will do what we can. There may be times where we get pizza, but we will. Part of our thing is promoting a healthy lifestyle for our players. So we can't be buying a whole bunch of pizza, or Wendy's, or Burger King, or McDonald's. We're gonna be trying to bring healthier food, not food that's disgusting, but healthier option. So we'll see who's willing to work with us for starters, and then if not, then we'll take a look at what after that. That's the most. Have I been in any contact with Fusion who was trying emphasis? It's okay. I have to be very careful with how I respond. The Bahamas Esports Federation has not had a meeting with. I have been, as myself representing MOAR Tech, been in meetings with regarding this. So I cannot speak for the Bahamas Esports Federation, but Fusion is aware that this was coming. They, at the time, seemed interested. We do need to have a follow-up meeting because it was just expressing the idea behind it, letting them know it's coming. And Theo says, I love this topic. Why every stream can't be food related? Snoopy says, I don't want to hear anything from them. They got something against us. If you're talking about Fusion, I can't. Larry says once. Kyo says, man, got his last name. What more ask for, I suppose. Snoopy's asking who Grammy could cook for free. Bay says, I actually saw League of Legends, one of trailers. Whoever made it playing me when I cried, but still though. I remember that. That was when they still had someone working there by the name of. Again, this is before we sat down and talked about the Federation. But we were invited to go in there and take a look around this show, Esports Wrap, before they had opened up. So it was a little bit after the press had gotten in, but before pretty much anyone. We were able to walk around, take a look at this, how they were building up the movie theaters, taking a look at some of the stuff behind the scenes, behind the screen. Walking around, looking at what the VR setup would have been like when they actually still had issues with their VR system. What the game room area was going like. So they did already have some there. So did try those out. But yeah, the one that you're talking about was the trailer that they had with Lena playing Deadpool. Yes, Deadpool was played by a woman. And they were promoting the bar. But yeah, the idea behind that hasn't quite out as yet. The game that they played was, well, the game that they had a video of playing. She wasn't playing. Was League of Legends. I hope that clarifies that whole thing. Theo says, my little bro came to me excited talking about LOL at Fusion. I'm here like, I gotta send. That's when that happens because I go. Captain. Oh, Lord. You know, if you guys do win the next league, we could have to work. We could have to work. The legend. Theo says I don't even want to look like. Yeah, we're online thing. Go. Theo says, but you've got land tourney, just like the same. Someone's asking if we like pugs. Pugs as in what exactly? Like the actual like dog, or like when you're in a game and you're getting pugs, like, getting random people to play with you. Exactly. Everybody says, what if I made spicy plays and my team hold me back? That's a very valid question, and that's why I stated what I said earlier. Regardless of the game, if we see your skill, we'll reach out to you. This means that we may not reach out to an entire team, but we may reach out to certain members of a team. This is very much in line with what they do with sport, where you let's use Japan, because they actually have a pretty, and they're national. So for kids in school, they have, you create a club, a sports club, and you divisionals. You're in a particular division, a different area in your city, and compete against the persons inside that city or state. From there, you then make it to the particular ranking, then go up and fight on a wider scale, a national. If a place is big enough, then you split it between different districts. So we'll use, and this is not how I'm not saying this is how the beat. Let's say you have Northern Bahamas and South Bahamas. Let's just versus in North Bahamas play against each other. They start in their island. Well, they start in their district, move on to their city, move on to their island, on to their section, which is Northern Bahamas. Same thing happens for South Bahamas. Again, this is all theoretical. Persons from those two sections would then go together, then go against an person. From there, you then have a national team who then represents the country, and they would pick the best wherever they would have found. Scouting would have happened. They may say that the best pitcher for baseball, for example, is in a team that lost from way back when. And, that person might be the best pitcher, but his team lost it. That's not fair, because that's your best pitcher. You're going to take him and do as much as you can with him. That's how it kind of works. Okay, so people talking about sponsors, Joy-Cons. Theo says, so you're in the next tourney? Okay. Everybody says he needs to find a team. Someone says I need to download it and get back to you. Worlds, but in the Caribbean, fog chat. That is something that could possibly happen. We did have Hearthstone World Championships here in Nassau, New Providence, a few years ago. And while it was poorly managed, not by the Hearthstone team, but by the marketing team that they left it up to, which was a hotel. The hotel didn't do crap, and I found out about it because I went on launcher and saw it a few before, and was still able to end. But it's things like that. So if a company like that wants to come down here, they can reach out to the governing body for esports we can then reach out to all of our persons that are interested, be it as spectators, as players, as parents, as journalists, whatever it is. We can speak out, say, this is happening. This event is you need to come to. This, that, the next. Is there also going to be subs? Yes, they're going to be subs. So for example, what I was talking about earlier with going to Mexico, that was supposed to have happened. Not sure if that's where that's currently at right now, so can't speak too much on it. But the request was, when I use Overwatch on the request was 6 players and 1 sub. Now, we're gonna need more than just 1 extra person. It's already been discussed between the executive, where we're more than likely going to need like an A team and teams that can compete against one another and help each other improve, and keep them competitive. And we'll be working with both of those teams, taking them to online tournaments, trying to get them as much experience and exposure as possible. And you know, they can maybe compete to see who goes away to international ones. If there's a local event, then both of them can perhaps play. We will aim to be working with international bodies. They have persons wanting to play us. You know, there's a lot more to this. Soupy says, so if someone from a different country of hard mouth with my team member, will I be allowed to bring my Grammy cutlass? Just asking for the look. No, you will not be able to bring your Grammy cutlass, but you can lay a cut ass on them in the game. That's how he said it last. Sensei Noi asks, how do I feel about you? I feel that Stan has done a wonderful job with Yo here in NASA. I am unaware if there are any other communities with Yugi, and if there are, please let me know. But I think Stan, because he's the only one that has done amazing. And while Yu-Gi-Oh, because it's a physical card-based game, does not technically work, we can definitely work toward helping bring awareness at the very least. That's one of the reasons why in the Discord you have a channel. Now, Stan was supposed to have reached out to real players in WhatsApp to try and bring them over to the Discord. Can be aware, because while there are a number of them that just play Yu-Gi-Oh, there are a number that also play games that are interested in anime. Obviously, Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, it's based off of an anime and vice versa. That kind of works out, at least for the otaku side. He says, I ain't get chapped no one, I get spanked them. No, you cannot spank people. Take that as assault. Cannot do that. Okay, guys. So I've been talking since 9:32. Now 8 o'clock. There goes Kyo with both. But yeah, this will not be the only time that we talk about the Federation. We'll have more members of the Federation on. Next week with Esports Wrap, we aim to have some interview persons who would have gone off to 2 international tournaments. The Big House and the Battle for the East. Big House was in Michigan, if I remember correctly, and Battle for the East was in New Jersey. And both of these are very well-known competitions for what they do. People travel from quite a number of places for and Battle for the East is known as Saturday night, but it's located in the tri-state area, which is connected to New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and for some reason, even though it's tri-state, Pennsylvania. I don't know, but yeah. So we're gonna be aiming to have some interviews with those persons, hear what they've say, and maybe that'll give some insight. Plan on doing, getting some of our players. So we're gonna end it off. Oh wait. Okay, I see someone saying, "Wait, got one question." Riven or Rangar? Rangar when he's beast, definitely. But Riven also kind of broken. Spicy or barbecue? Spicy. Barbecue. Spicy barbecue. My answer is anyway. That's it for this episode of Esports Wrap. This is way longer than we typically go, because our Esports Wrap is half an hour to an hour. So don't forget to tune in next week for Esports Wrap at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's hopefully when we'll have everyone on. We will be on the air this upcoming Friday again. I don't want to say which station or which host. It's going to be at 10 a.m. And the reason why I'm not stating where just yet, because while they've confirmed for that time, sometimes things happen. And so I don't want to give you guys a time and a link and everything like that and work like it today. People trying to listen to it on mobile, or something happened and we aren't able to be on. So I will give that information out probably the day of, early the day of. We also have a number of other shows on the radio lined up, or at least persons who are, well, hosts who are interested in at least talking to then have us on there. One of which it will also be 8th, and we have some for the week after that as well. So again, you'll probably see some notifications saying that we're going to be on this show or that show or the next show. Please tune in, show us your support, feel free to call in, show some love, because as we saw today, there will be those persons, and the more persons that we can call in to say something that's worthwhile, the more that we can resonate with other persons. So until next time, guys, this is Michael Amargan. One more cookies, but more importantly for today's show, president of the Bahamas Esports. Take care.